I say, do to do, boo to do, ba boo da boo da. And I say, do to do, boo to do, ba boo da boo da. Let's get it. Hello, everyone. My name's Stonsey Boy. I don't even know what just fell. Hello, everyone. My name's Stonsey Boy, and welcome back to Reading with Stonsey. Today, we are reading pages. Hold on. Today, we're reading pages 27 to 44. If the screen says something different, it's because my main screen is not actually on the reading document, but on something else. Alright, we're only going to be reading all of chapter 3 today, so, it's not too much and it's not too little, though it is a pretty long chapter. This episode's actually recorded late because of, I thought I'd be up to the 10th of December, but nope, I'm up to the 8th. So this is going to be literally recorded and posted at the same time. So very nice, very fun, and kind of terrifying. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin. Chapter 3. Don't assume anything. What's my next move? I asked the darkness. Given that I was trapped literally with my back to the wall, I was a snarling corpse just a handful of dirt away, the options seemed pretty limited. For a long while I tried to just focus on my breathing, clearing my mind, letting the ideas flow. Ironically, the first clear thought I had was my breathing might be using up all my air. How much did I have? And was I already suffocating? What did suffocation feel like? I tried to sense any changes in my body, any feelings that weren't there before, and that's when I noticed that all the pain and the injuries were gone. Both my head and ankle felt fine. My stomach, on the other hand, felt completely empty. I chomped down on another apple, trying to make sense of what is happening. Am I losing oxygen to the brain, I wondered, or did I just heal super fast? Seriously, am I a superhero? The thought gave me a sudden rush of hope. The zombie groaned. Is that it? I asked the ghoul. Does the world give me super healing, and do the apples or any food have something to do with it? Another non-committal groan. You don't have the answer, I said. I'll figure everything out, because that's what it makes to survive here, right? That's the whole new world, or the whole new set of rules. Like punching from a distance, or a little bag that holds a lot of stuff. Deeper breathing brought greater calm, and greater calm got clearer thinking. I just need to figure out what's what, I stated matter-of-factly, and I'll do that as soon as I bust out of here. On cue, the zombie groaned back. And then you'll be waiting, and I'll need some kind of weapon to defend myself, a club or a spear, or... The zombie gave a quick, high-pitched growl I'd never heard before. Hey, I said, putting my ear to the dirt, what gives? Had it heard me? We were having an actual conversation. A sharp, harsh growls kept coming, like the creature was reacting to something, like it was in pain. You okay? I asked reflexively. Hey, I'm sorry if talking about weapons hurt your feelings or something, but in all fairness, you're trying to kill me, so... Halfway through the babbling, I noticed the sounds were gone. Hello? I called out to the silence. I thought I could smell something seeping through the dirt. Smoke? Was the zombie building a fire outside my hole and trying to smoke me out? Could zombies do that? I had to know. If sitting here meant dying to smoke inhalation, I had to make my chances out in the open. Heart pounding, I knocked on the dirt cube in front of my face and blinked hard at the light of the square morning sun. I couldn't see the zombie, but I could still smell its rotten stench. Now mixed with a strong stench of smoke, I tore out the second block and stepped cautiously into the beach. I looked right, then left, then down, and wrinkled my nose. A chunk of putrid meat was hovering at my feet. I picked it up nervously and winced at all the utter grossness. The fringes were charred like burnt burger, and I hadn't need to ask where the smoky smell had come from. I darted across the sand, thinking that this was a trap and the zombie might be waiting on the hill just above me. It wasn't. The coast was literally cleared. Hey, dead dude, I shouted, holding up a hungry rock. You forgot yourself. I waited a tense minute, hoping the chunk's owner wouldn't come slouching back over the hill. It didn't. This bit of burnt, grouty guts had to be all that was left. But why? The sun. But didn't daylight kill only vampires? Maybe in my world. But, I had said to the chunk, you're not in my world, and I can't assume anything. And just as I said that, my eyes fell on a small cliffside hidey hole. Specifically, I noticed the 2-block-long, 1-block-wide ceiling of dirt. Why hadn't it collapsed on top of me? What was holding it up? I went back into the hole and punched out 2 earthen blocks above my head. Then, moving away wouldn't land on me, I put them right back in place, and they stuck. Cool, I smiled, feeling the surge of confidence. Other than hyper healing and the ability to stick dirt blocks in each other was a huge advantage of the world. But it meant I could build a shelter without any nails or cement or whatever keeps houses up. That's assuming, of course, that there wouldn't be any natural sanctuary waiting for me out there. I hiked to the top of the hill, scanned the entire length of the island, checking the north and south slopes just to be sure, then heaved a heavy sigh of disappointment. There was no cave, no hole, no move right in fortress. I noticed a cow, 2 of them actually, grazing the bottom of a western slope, munching and mooing in their heart's content. Well, I called down to them, my eyes now fixed on the trees. At least I was right about the sun chasing those monsters away. The light had definitely banished whatever was lurking in the woods the night before, but where had they gone? And for what matter, where had they come from? Did they walk out of the sea at dusk, or crawl out of the ground like some cheesy horror film? I'd probably know a lot sooner than I wanted to, even though at dawn I'd only had been a few minutes ago. The sun was already halfway to noon. How short are the days here? I asked the content cows. If they could have spoken, they probably would have answered, short enough to stop wasting time. Thanks, I said sarcastically, then climbed back down and now calling Disappointment Hill. For a moment I hesitated, wondering if I should build a signal fire. Isn't that what people would do when they were marooned on an island? Maybe, but no idea how to do it. But I did know how to do, though, it was dig. Using nothing but my hands, I punched through the dirt blocks to spell the word help. Maybe a low-flying airplane or even a high-flying satellite will see it, I thought. Someone will come along. I was still clinging on to the idea that somebody was going to swoop in and save me, but I had to do what was last a night or two until they did. I might have accepted that this is a whole new world, but I didn't stop to consider what it really meant. I would, though, later, when I got myself lost at sea again. But I'm getting ahead of myself. With a watchful eye on the sun, I trudged back down to the eastern slope. I thought about building a dirt hut from my hole in the cliff. When I looked at the narrow opening, I figured it was a lot safer than to burrow deeper. That way I'd have a whole hill between me and danger, instead of a few flimsy dirt walls. But how to do that? I couldn't tunnel through stone with my bare hands, could I? Don't assume anything, I remind myself. Raising my fist, a super smooth gray wall. I already have the distant punch superpower. Maybe that punch can break rocks. Turns out it can't. Ow, 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 I yelped with each hit. Yes, it's true. This world lets fresh do damage to solid rock. And yes, after battering for a while, it did look like I was making progress. The gray cube didn't crack, though. Not like it would in my world. What I saw were little, multicolored mini blocks spreading out from my impact point. But the moment I rested my bruised, aching hands, all the damage had rock sealed right back up. Oh man, I shouted, angrily decked the rock again, which forced out another painful ow. Apparently, I wasn't doing only thing in the world that with hyperhealing. What do I need to take you out? I asked the silent mocking stone. Some kind of tool was an obvious answer, like a castaways in those stories. But they usually would have a whole shipwreck of supplies, or a hatchet, or at least a talking volleyball. What did I have? Fuzzy memories and a backpack full of nothing. Well, almost nothing. I tried hitting a stone wall with things I'd collected. Saplings, dirt cubes, even zombie flesh. For all I knew, this world would give me one of them as the power of a jackhammer. None of them worked, but the sapling gave an idea of trying ripping a piece of harder, stronger wood from the leafless trees behind me. I went over to the closest trunk and punched the bottom section. Timber! I shouted, and let out a confused huff. Not only was the tree still upright, but it was standing on nothing connecting to the ground. Look, I said, negotiating with a suspended column. Boxing zombies are one thing, but gravity? The floating trunk didn't move. Okay, I nutted, throwing up my dice-shaped hands. Your world, your rules. A few seconds later, I saw how true those words were. I tried bashing the cubed log against the cliff, and nothing more than a sore hand. I winced and, without thinking, started to pass the log into my left hand in order to give my right one a break. What? My square eyes widened as the left hand opened to reveal a luminous grid. There were 2 lines, up, down, side to side, dividing my palm into 4 sections. As the shrunken log fell into the bottom left section, the glowing image of 4 stacked wooden planks floated up from my open right hand. All right, I said nervously, not sure if what was happening was good or bad. I tried slowly closing my fingers. The planks grew solid, and just the log in my left hand vanished. All right, I said with growing zeal. In addition to the ability to heal quickly, punch things from a distance, and stick blocks to themselves without supports, somehow this world allowed me to transform raw materials into finished products in seconds. How long would a task have taken in my world? How many hours of chopping, measuring, sawing, and sanding? And that's assuming I already know how to do any of that. This world led me to be a master crafter just by changing hands. What can I make with these? I wondered, passing the stacked planks in my left hand. This time, a tiny wooden mini cube floating right above my right. A button, I breathed. Not the kind for clothes, but the kind you press. Head spinning, literally dizzy with new discoveries. I only imagine what would happen if I pressed it. How the button transformed whatever it stuck into something completely different. Would it transform me? Or maybe it would raise up a giant gleaming fortress that held a white-haired spirit who could answer all my questions and teach me how to use my powers. Hadn't that happened in a movie? I closed my hand on the button, grabbing it from the air and sticking it to the suspended tree. Was this the key to sending me home? I'm ready, I shouted to the heavens, my shaking hand reaching for the all-powerful, all-important button. Click. Right, I sighed, hearing a wah-wah of trombone in my head. So much for all the answers. But looking down at the remaining wood, I said, but maybe I still got a few. I spread the 3 planks out among the 4 spaces in my hand, and got nothing. As soon as I took one away, the other 2 sitting one above the other, projected the image of 4 long, sturdy sticks. A club, I shouted, grabbing them from the air, putting 3 in my belt. I swung forward like a demented Neanderthal. Me strong, me have weapon. Then, and still in character, I looked at the stone wall and growled, me also have rock breaker. I should have quit experimenting right then and there. I should have gone back to digging out my underground shelter, but big surprise, I didn't. Just a few more experiments, I said, turning my back to the rock wall, and then I'll get to work. Since one remaining plank was the only good for making buttons, I slipped into my pelt and started bashing down the rest of the suspended tree. I divided the new plates among all 4 sections of my hand, and gaped in wonder at the ghostly image that they produced. This cube seemed to have all kinds of tools hanging around its sides. Here we go, I shouted, grabbing this new game changer. It didn't matter that the tools were painted on as my clothes. The whole workbench or crafting table was a tool. Its top was laid out in the 9 sections that looked and acted exactly like my left hand. "Ah, yeah," I sang, doing what would now become my signature victory dance. I hoped the new few times spun once, hopped again, and reached out for my remaining wood planks and threw them on the table. Let's get crafting. My first few results were, let's just say, less than stellar. Placing 2 planks on the side got me thin, almost full block wide square. Placing a square on the ground and stepping on it got me some anticlimactic click as a button. 3 planks across got me 6 half cubes thick slabs. Doubling them to 6 planks got me 2 similar slabs, but with square holes cut in the corners. I placed one down on the ground, walked around it, and stepped into it with no effect. Then tried to punch it back up again. Instead of shrinking to my hand, the slab tilted upwards like a hatch. Awesome, I thought. Now, I don't need hinges. And this theory was further proved when I tried a combination of 6 upright planks, and got 3 full-size doors. I set one down on the ground and saw it remaining standing. Then I reached out to open it, and yes, the freestanding door swung open, a totally normal creaking sound. Now, I know what you're thinking, okay? Why not just quit the crafting and get right back to making a house for this door? Or at least dig a rabbit hole in the ground to cover it with a hatch. Believe me, I thought about it, and really was going to get to it eventually, but I couldn't stop without making the hand tools I saw on the sides of the crafting table. I mean, if the world had put them there, they had to exist, so why wasn't I able to make them? I felt like those hand tools were just one more combination away. After all, I'd made so much progress, and just picked up another lesson from the process. Figuring out the rules turns them into enemies into friends. Just a few more tries, I promised, placing a plank on top of every section of the table, and when I got me nothing, I happened a sheer chance to make a middle one out first. Then suddenly an image of a box appeared, and it didn't mean a box-shaped something. I mean an actual box. I put it down in front of me, opened the hingeless lid, and seemed to be fixed in a version of my pack with just many compartments. Figures, I huffed. Tons more storage and nothing to store. And a subject of emptiness, my next experiment, 3 planks with a V, got me 4 empty wooden bowls. Instinctively, I pictured filling them with all kinds of soups and stews. Mouth-watering, I reached for an apple. For the first time, though, my hand refused to move, and a second later I realized why. I wasn't hungry. This world only let me eat when I needed to, not when I wanted to. Well, that's not fun, I told the apple, but at least I'll never waste food, if I find any more. Looking at the leafless tree trunk, I wondered if I shouldn't try searching for more apples before it got dark. Before I did that, I really had got to get moving on that shelter, but before I did that, just one more try. I put another load of planks on the crafting table, adding a few more, changing from a V to a U. At first I thought I made another bowl, but larger and more oval shape, or a tub, or a boat, I shouted, yanking from me either. It would still miniaturize in my hand. I ran up and over Disappointment Hill. Hey guys, I shouted, grazing animal. Check out this out. I got a boat. The sheep and cows glanced up casually. I then got back to more important munching. And a heartfelt farewell to you too, I said, running past them on the northern beach. I set up a tiny model tub in the water, and instantly grew into a full-sized skiff. Climbing aboard, I couldn't believe how stable it was. No rocking, no bobbing, totally smooth. Since there was no motor or sail, I figured the only way was to get it going by paddling. I leaned forward and dipped my hands in the water, and suddenly began to move. All I gotta do is lean, I thought. Smiling, and the little craft picked up speed. Escape! Freedom! Yeah, I yelled, turning back to my island prison and final goodbye. I intended to shout something snarky like, so long, suckers, but I stopped when I saw the last bit of land shrinking to a speck of the horizon. I sat up slightly, slowing the boat. I squinted for land up ahead. There wasn't any. I glanced back at the island. It was gone. I came to a full stop, looking in every direction, and saw nothing but sky and sea. And that's when reality set in. What was I thinking? Where was I going? Escaping the island didn't mean escaping the world. At least back there I kind of knew what I was dealing with. Out here it's all unknown. This is what's going to help consider carving my help signs on the hill. Back when I was dry and safe. But if there wasn't any other island, or what if the land didn't have any people? Or what if the people were dangerous as zombies? Or what if there's only zombies and those other monsters I'd seen last night? Or worse. Gulping down stomach acid, I spun around and sped back to the island. The only island was there. Was I going the right direction? I zigged that way and that, hoping to find the faint hint of green. Nothing. I was lost. Stupid, I hissed, furious at myself for making such a thoughtless mistake. I've been so eager to get home that I'd blown my one chance to survive. Now I was right back to where I started, helpless and hopeless. No way was I getting out of this one. Sooner or later I'd eat my last apple and starve slowly under the baking sun. Or maybe I'd eaten by a squid, maybe one that was coming for me now. I couldn't almost feel his hungry arms rising from the depths, ready to smash my boat and drag me under. Hopefully I'd drown before they tore me apart. Drown. Panic drowns thought, I whispered, feeling the strength of my words. The enemy was rising squids, but only rising hysteria, squeezing my chest, clouding my brain. Panic drowns thought, I shouted, and I'm not going to drown. I reached in my belt, not for an apple, but for a cube of dirt. Fittingly, I still had plenty from the help sign. I closed my eyes and inhaled its rich, grounding scent. Let's go find the rest of you, I told it. We have to be close. There's no current, there's no breeze having blown us so far off course. The breeze. So far, I only noticed the gusting east to west. I looked up to the clouds and matched their movement to the line of setting sun. Now we know east and west, I said, growing confident. And since we started from the island's north beach, keeping the sun to the right means heading south. I put the dirt back in my pelt and leaned it cautiously forward. And there it was, the top of Disappointment Hill. I sighed in relief, leaning as far forward as I could. The boat shot headlong into the beach, smashing into the planks and sticks against the sandy northern shore. I didn't care. Made it, I whispered, wishing my body would let me kiss the ground. Moo, called an approaching cow, its heavy voice with criticism. I know, I said, getting out of the water and collecting remains of my boat. I wasn't thinking. Moo, said the cow. You're right, I answered. I gotta think before I act. And that doesn't mean figuring out my next move. I need a clear, long-term strategy if I'm going to survive this world. Moo, agreed the cow. I've got to focus on discovering the basics, I continued. Stockpiling food, building a secure shelter, crafting tools and weapons, whatever else I need to make my life more comfortable. I began pacing back and forth empathetically, gesturing to the watching animal. I've got to turn this island into a comfort zone. A safe space where I can learn all I can about this world, how this world works. And then I've got all the basics covered. I can start asking the really big questions, like how I got here and how I got home. And just as I considered these big questions, an even bigger, scarier one came to mind. Can I do it? I asked. All by myself, with no one to help me. I stared down at my painted shoes. No one to protect me or guide me, or I could barely get the words out. Take care of me. I closed my eyes, trying to remember anything about who I was. If I'm a kid, I said, trembling, then grown-ups must have done a lot for me. And if I'm a grown-up, then I still don't remember doing much for myself. Memories of that other world flash before anguished eyes. Memories of machines and luxuries and clicking a screen and order anything I wanted. I think my world did a lot for me. So many people doing so many different jobs and nobody could worry about doing everything. I looked up at the cow's face. Can I do everything? Can I take care of me? The square animal gave a long, low murr, which I took for, what other choice is there? Only one, I answered, to curl up and die. I sighed hard, which I won't do. I choose to take care of myself, I proclaimed as desperation morphed into determination. I choose to believe in myself. Moo, said the cow, sounding like a, now you're talking. I can do this, I bellowed loudly. I can and I will. I noticed the sun almost said, I gotta get out of here. Confidence vanished, I raced out of the woods. Now how long did I have before the night terrors rose again? How long before they hunted me down? How long? How long indeed? It's a good way of segmenting into you should never give up. Never back down, never what? Never give up. Whatever Nick A30 says nowadays. I think nowadays he just screams about being the king or something. I really don't know. Do you know what I do know is, though, today we read pages 27 to 43. I can't read. Chapters 3. I don't know why I said chapters, as if, there were any more. But next time we'll be reading pages 44 to 64, chapters 4, and chapters 5. I don't know why there's not zeros in front of that. 04 to 05. Perfect. What's even more perfect is that today we're almost over because it's time for Reading Corner of the Day. Doing it up Stonsey's way, Pop. Today we are going to be reading about the English Foxhound. Now, if you might be curious to understand, you would be like, wait a minute, Stonsey, you didn't change any of the pictures because that's the American Foxhound. Well, it's actually a debated topic of what is and isn't an English to American foxhound. They're so similar, in fact, that they were originally going to be put together, but ended up being torn apart into the two counterparts with two different varying lores. As you may remember, actually, with the Beagle, I think it was, where the British had the dog, but also the American or the English had the dog, but also the Europeans had the dog, where they were fighting each other of ours is first, but it was King Henry who they found was the first. So this is kind of that, but they were both raised and treated as different things, although they are both foxhounds. Though they have very stupid history and they both look dopey. But before you can make fun of anything or have a strong opinion on something, you should learn about its history, just so you should fight your own battles, be able to have credibility, and just make yourself look smart in front of your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, or meemaw. Or meepaw. Or papa? Papa, meepaw? Pee-pee, mama, pee papa. What I know is the history of the English Foxhound, which is that careful procedures have been kept of the English Foxhounds since the late 1700s, longer than any other breed. Still, the exact origin of the breed is unknown. At the time of its inception, of course, the stag of greyhounds was still the favorite dog assorted of the gentry. Around 1750, a few men envisioned hunting foxes with swift horses and hounds. The hounds would have been able to track the faint scent while on the run and maintain their chase for hours. Fox hunting gained its appeal in the pastime of the wealthy. Packs of hounds were tended by the masters of foxhounds, who looked to care and breeding of the dogs. Riding to the hounds became an affair steeped in ceremony, with the actual killing of the fox anticlimactic, as the aesthetic aspects of the hunt increased in significance. Care as taken to produce dogs that looked good not only individually but also as a pack. Thus, pack members would usually share the same coat collaboration, most often this black saddle over tan body with white points. Fox hunting became so popular that by the late 1800s, 140 packs, each with about 50 hounds, were registered in England alone. Foxhounds came to America in the 1700s. Although in time, with a good percentage of these dogs were bred by with others to produce the American Foxhound, the latter was since surpassed by the English Foxhound in popularity in America. Although neither is popular as the pet or show dog, the English Foxhound is still the first choice for hunters wishing the traditional outing on horseback, riding the melodious bay of this most classic of breeds. So this is the original, while the American Foxhound is considered a fake. How interesting. How competitive. But now you're prim, you're proper, and you read books, and you have very nice kids. And you want to know the temperament. Oh, my kids need the original. They can't have some cheap knockoff. So what is the temperament of this brat of a dog? I'll have my butler tend to it, Stonsey. I just need to know what it is. Well, rich person who actually is getting their own information for once. Very rare in this economy. The temperament of the English Foxhound is that traditionally a packhound, the English Foxhound nonetheless makes up a stately house dog. As long as it has human or canine companionship, it gets along well with horses, dogs, children, and other pets. It is an avid sniffer and trailer. However, it needs daily exercise in a safe area. It is tolerant, amiable, and gentle dog, even though it's not very demonstrative. Most are reserved with strangers and is not well suited for city life. It bays. Bays means it goes, oh, bar, 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 bar. Ain't that right, Roscoe? He's asleep. But now you know this, so what is the upkeep? I'm rich and I need my butler to keep this dog in check so my children and my precious daughter doesn't get sad when I get sick. Well, the upkeep of the English Foxhound is that the Foxhound is an easygoing dog that nonetheless needs plenty of exercise. It is bred to run for miles, and it can be made for a good jogging companion in a leash or hiking companion in a safe area. It can live outdoors in temperate climates as long as it's warm shelter, bedding, and other foxhounds are friends. The coat needs only occasional brushing to remove dead hair. Ooh, not high temperament, but good with kids. Pretty average dog. Now, if you are a kid, cover your ears, teenager or an adult. You guys have grown up. You guys need to hear this. Grab your notebook, for this is time. For the health. Major concerns are nothing. Minor concerns are nothing. They're occasionally seen with CHD and renal disease, so basically eyes. Suggested tests are for the hips. The lifespan is 10 to 13 years. And actually, yeah, that's it. Not bad. Not that bad of a dog. This is a good dog. 10 to 13 years is a little low, though. All right, now for the form and function. You don't have kids. You just want to know how this dog works. Well, the form and function of the English Foxhound is that the English Foxhound is a powerful build with large bone. The size of bone that ankle is considered especially important. This build, along with a comparatively straight angulation of the stifles, favors stamina over speed. The rich, deep voice is prized for the hunt. Many English Foxhounds have rounded ears, which are about 1.5 inches, are surgically removed from the end of the ear. Aw, poor puppies. These dogs I don't think are surgically removed, as you can see, but I think it's a common thing to do for English Foxhounds for hunting. I guess so they don't track dirt or something. Maybe makes them better hearing, I don't know. Now for the final section of the video is the tier list. Let me explain this to you. 5 is the best, 4 is Better 3 is average, 2 is worse, 1 is the worst unless it is grooming. Now, energy level and exercise requirements are at a 4. Playfulness and affection level are at a 3. Pretty good, pretty affectionate. Friendliness towards dogs are at a 5. That's surprising. Friendliness towards other pets is at a 3, so pretty average. Friendliness towards strangers is at a 4, pretty good. Ease of training is at a 2. Not the easiest, but not that hard, or not pretty hard. Watchdog ability is at a 4. Protection ability is at a 1. Grooming requirements are at a 1, which is good. Cold and heat tolerance are at a 3, pretty average. Now, the weight of both a male and female English Foxhound are 55 to 75 pounds, and the height of a male and female English Foxhound are 23 to 27 inches, I think varying in gender. Oh, these dogs sadden me. The next dog we're going to be learning about is the one you're going to be learning about in the next episode. So, hope you guys have a super fantastic, wonderful day. Be polite, be efficient, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time for another dog reading, book reading, and reading. Bye-bye!